Hello there, my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Glow Up Method. This is the place. No, this is the space for you to discover who you are, to live, to pursue, to explore a life that makes you proud. Hi, my name is Natasha, and I am so truly blessed and honored to be here with you today. Today is a huge milestone for me. I am 6 weeks post-op today. Like literally, I feel like, I say all the time, every time we wake up, we're reborn, but I feel like I've had this rebirth 6 weeks ago after my complications and my experience post-op. I've done a lot of reflecting. It has been a difficult journey. So I haven't fully been able to embrace all the beauty of the experience because I've been so locked in on the physical pain. And, there were moments where I was kind of focused on the loss. There was moments when I felt absolutely lost. There were moments when I was dreaming about dancing because I could barely walk to the bathroom. There were moments when I was having challenges just going to the bathroom by myself. Like, there was so much pressure on me to get better. I mean, at one point, Chris was really great here. Then he got sick. I still have kids. They need to be driven. And I was in pain. And I don't know how to turn off being a mom. I definitely learned in this process how to speak up and advocate for myself, how to express my needs and my wants. And do they always get met? No. And I also learned how to say, I'm unable to do this. I know it was driving my kids crazy. I can't. It's a bad word in here. I know. And so I kept saying I can't, and it drove my kids absolutely nuts. I'm like, that's a bad word. I was like, when your words come back to bite you, right? I was like, I can't. I mean, I can maybe, but I might get hurt if I do it. So, I mean, they knew what I meant, but like, it was just, I think, fun for them to poke fun at that. I got through things that I never imagined I would ever have to get through. I saw support in people that was deeper than I ever imagined was possible. I am so appreciative of this journey. I really am. It has taught me a lot about myself. It has taught me a lot about the people around me. I really, really, really feel like I just really had the right people always around me. There is this, back and forth, like maybe if we had an more aggressive measure, I would have moved along faster, had a second surgery, had blood transfusions, and my doctor, chose to go an ultra conservative route. And, at the time I was like, I don't know if this is the right decision or the wrong decision or what. I didn't have enough like information. I didn't have enough data. I just knew that I did not have a lot of fight. I had fight, but I didn't have strength. Like I never felt weaker in my life. And I just felt like, yeah, like in the end, like now where I am at 6 weeks, I am so grateful that we kind of did take a less aggressive treatment plan, and I'm here. I today was able to rejoin my dancing life. I started off with a class. It's like a great entryway. It was although it was very difficult. I can't even compare it to dancing because it was actually very difficult. But it was like a chair dance class. So you sit in a chair and you dance, and you're doing a lot with your legs. Like my hip flexors and gluteus maximus are on fire. But it felt so good to move, and it felt so good to be a part of a community. Like I've been moving here in the house and making my own party, and the kids will laugh or tell me to quiet down or whatever it is. And so I'm glad I never lost that part of me that like music brings alive. So as I drove down, I was listening to that David Guetta, I can't even say the name, and Rihanna's song, Who's That Chick? And like, it starts off by saying, feel the adrenaline rushing underneath my skin, something about the music is my remedy, and I just want to dance. And it was like everything in those first few words was just amazing. Like it talked about energy and how I feel, and it's an addiction, like, and it is like I found something and I never knew. That's why I say keep your eyes and ears open. Try new things. I had no idea how much life this simple act of moving, this simple act of moving as part of community, this simple act of challenging my brain to learn new steps and move my bodies in different ways. And it's going to be a relearning process. Like, there's a lot of things I'm still inhibited to do. I am still swollen, like I am 9 months pregnant, especially in the evening right now. Bloat city. Like, it is painful. It hurts. I feel like I'm about to burst. But I wanted to get my filming done. It is 11:45 p.m. I spent like 3 or 4 hours outside today with my son, my other son, my son Dylan, my son Tyler, my son Tyler's girlfriend Meg. We just sat outside chatting, enjoying the weather. Like, we didn't have any hurry or rush to go anywhere. He's healing from surgery. I'm healing from surgery. My other son is going through things. Meg just started her vacation. She just finished off her school year. She's here to help Tyler and spend some time with him. So, like, it is great. Like, it's great sometimes to just be. And I know there's 1,000 things that we can be doing, but we were just being together. And I love that. I love the community aspect, especially when, there were so many parts and moments of this recovery that I was alone and I was with my thoughts, and that's great. And I can deal with being alone, but it's really tough when you're alone and you're suffering, or alone and like, I'm not a big TV person, and I like to move and I like to do things, and I don't like to be dependent. I like to be independent. I like to pull my weight. Like, I like to do my part. I don't know. It makes me feel good. So learning how to depend on other people was a huge learning curve for me. And then learning to accept when people help and they don't always have a smile on their face. It doesn't mean they don't like me or they don't want to help. It just means they're going through their own stuff, but they're helping. So just take the help, period, bottom line. And then there's so many people that just have showed up with cards or kind words or I miss you, where have you been? It's beautiful. And I love that who I've been able to show up as in the gym encapsulates exactly who I am. Here we go again, take 2. It's with this merging. I have got to get it together. But anyways, I just loved this concept, this idea of living a life that makes you proud. Why? Because it gives us freedom. It gives us freedom to relinquish all those chains that we have instilled on us. The society has instilled on us, our family, our friends, our churches, our work, any of these things, external forces that have taken over us and make us believe that we have to do life in a certain particular way. And I'm here to say that's totally wrong. You can do life exactly as you choose. You can take the time. Like, I have found so much beauty in this 6 weeks. I enjoy more than ever sitting out on my driveway and listening to the birds. I love more than ever days like today where people decide to join me, where I've had Chris come out and sit with me. I've had my kids come out and sit with me. Almost every single one of them has taken a few minutes with me on the outside. And it's just this beautiful thing to get us out of our norm, to get us out of these things. And it's so simple, right? It's so basic, but nobody was on their phones. Nobody was distracted by a television or a radio or any of those things. It was just all about being present. Because what I learned the most in this journey is, like I've said all along, is life is super precious. And I get this second chance, right? Like, I got this gift, I got this vision, I got this experience, right? That's a priceless experience that I gotta have, like heaven on earth. But I also got this realization that my story's not over yet. And that doesn't mean I need to rush and hurry it up. It means I feel like I'm on the right track. It feels like I'm doing the right things. I feel like I'm here to contribute to other people and help their journey along and bring my energy, bring my excitement, bring my ability to say, yeah, there are really tough days. And there are days that suck. Like, there are days I find it challenging to sit down. There are some days that I am like down to the wire because I'm so busy to post my stuff. There are some days that I am not a good mom because I've got whatever else going on, or I'm not a good partner, or, I'm maybe, I'm going through some stuff about old family wounds in me. Like, there's so much that brings, that makes us who we are. And we get the ability to decide who we show up as each time we're reborn, each and every time. We can change the story. Like I say here all the time, we can change our story. We don't have to buy into the story. If you don't like the story that you're living, change it. Even a little change changes the entire trajectory. If you don't like the way your health is, do something. I'm not saying, and I'm actually pleading, please do not try to go big or go home. Don't try to change the way you eat and your workout schedule and all these other things that everybody tries to do, because I'm telling you, maybe 1% of you would stick with it. I know sure as hell I wouldn't have, and I didn't. It's too much. It's not sustainable. The whole goal here is to live a healthy lifestyle. And that means something different for all of us. Success is defined by us individually. It's not, and sometimes it's just things like today where you go through adversity, where I'm just trying to film my thing. It is so late at so late o'clock, and then my camera wants to go through because I keep pushing this project down the line. But I've got to get it together because it's causing me to have to do so much extra work and deleting in between the things, and I'm forgetting what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to go with the flow here. But sometimes in life we have interruptions. We have things that derail us from what we want to do and remind us the things that we need to do in order to set us up for success in the future. Like, what is it you can do today that future you will thank you for? So 6 weeks ago, I did something that I know, and I'm not quite there yet, but that version of me really thought she was doing something that future me would thank me for. And now there are things I thank her for. I thank her so much for having the courage to show up at the appointment. I thank her so much for having the fight in her to come back to this crazy thing we call life. I am so proud of her. So she set me up for success. And now I'm not quite there yet. Yet is the operative word. I'm not quite at the level of mobility I would like to be at. I am not quite at the level of, lack of swelling I'm at yet. But I'm getting there. I am making progress. It is a slow process. And I know I've said it on here, I am not the most patient, but I do understand patience is power. So I'm part of the journey. It is about progress and not perfection, just like with you. Whatever you're going through and experiencing, it's going to be a day by day thing. And there are going to be interruptions, and there are going to be trials, and there are going to be things that, are complex and you have to work through, and you have to decide, am I going to keep going? Is this worth it? Like, I so easily within this process could have laid down in my little bed cocoon over here with my massage chair on and did absolutely nothing. And nobody would have blamed me for it, right? I could have fell into the hole that I call the deepest, darkest well. Because there were days that I would cry. There were days that I just was like, why did I even come back? Like, what's the point of all this? Like, this is so much pain. This is torture. It was beautiful and it was peaceful there. And there was happiness and laughter. And here I am being confronted with demons and thinking nobody loves me. And I'm wondering why I did this to myself. And will I ever be okay again? And I'm having to grapple with a lot of real life challenges in real time. And, so I get through this. And for me, what helped me through it was getting up and moving, getting up and getting outside and sitting in the sun. If that was all I did in a day, that was all I did. And that was enough. I then went back to bed and rested up, and, I still got my videos out. I still was able to get my bare minimums in. And once I started hitting those step goals, I started to increase them. And then there was a time I needed to wean it back down. And then I got it back up. And then now, on a day like today, 6 weeks to the day, I was able to celebrate. I was able to celebrate those small wins, those daily choices, those daily decisions that made me proud. They accumulated. And it didn't feel like it every day. It didn't feel like I was making any progress, actually. But I kept doing it. I kept massaging my stomach. I kept wearing the compression. I kept taking the pineapple juice and the Hooven and all the vitamins. And I kept eating well and eating a lot so that my body had the energy and the nutrients to heal. I was nice to myself. I was good with my family. I spent time with people. I listened to music. I moved my body. I challenged myself to walk. When I couldn't only walk, I allowed myself to go in a wheelchair and have people push me around. And then I would say, okay, I'm going to get up and walk. Like I encapsulated everything that makes me proud. I didn't just lay down and give up. I sought ways and I sought information. And even if it was after the fact and lesson learned, girl, next time you're doing a procedure, do your homework. Even if it is just you, you know, you do it for everybody else. Why didn't we do it with you? You are a baddie. I get it. But a little more knowledge would have been a little more power. So I've learned this lesson that, you know, the same rules apply to myself as they would my kids so that I can best advocate for myself and prepare. But I think there was this part of me that knew if I would learn too much, I would have chickened out. I would never have done it in a million gazillion years. Like even if I saw people's results and things, I don't know, I wouldn't have done it. I just wouldn't have done it. But I'm very grateful because at the very minimum, yes, my stomach is bloated and sore, but my back has been feeling great. And I'm so grateful for it. I'm like cautiously grateful. I'm like, I'm nervous, you know, I'm nervous to start moving again. And hopefully that's just gone. That's, you know, that 6 pounds of skin that my spine was having to carry there. Hopefully that was what was causing it. And now that it's gone, so is my pain. So I'm hoping it continues this way. So anyways, I say all this to say thank you for sticking with me with this broken thought and broken filming for these last few days. I promise you I will get it together. There are so many things, Chris moving in, kids moving out. Like there's so many things going on simultaneously that like my brain can almost pop. But then I find myself sitting on the driveway for 4 hours chatting with the child. So I get it. It is totally not lost on me, but that's what I care about. I care about making connections with people. I care about that more than anything else. I care about hearing their stories and then helping them through their moments when, you know, I can see he was in a little bit of torment and he didn't feel well. And I said, why don't you go outside on the driveway? And I gave him some time out there alone. And I came out like 15 minutes later and I said, just sat, you know, and I sat and he sat and then he just started talking. And, you know, it's just nice to be present when you have things that you're working on. It's nice to have somebody there. And I think that that's a beautiful gift. And to be able to drop everything and say, this is what matters. You matter to me. And I matter to you. Those are important. So you matter so much to me. I'm so grateful for you for tuning in today. I know there's so many things you can do with your time and be choosing to do and spend your time listening to, but yet here you are listening to me. And I hope in a sense that you are listening to you. I hope that you are curiously questioning the things you do in order to pursue something that makes you proud, in order to live a life that aligns with you. So I'm going to ask you my favorite thing to do. I'm going to ask you to please today go out there and look at yourself in the mirror, pull down the visor, you know the whole drill, give yourself a big smile, give yourself a compliment out loud. This is the key. Work yourself there if you can't do it. But my compliment to me today is I am so glad that I had the courage to walk in the gym again, that I had the courage to attempt a class I've never tried before and bring my spirit and energy into the class. I'm very proud of that. My second thing I'm going to ask for you today is to please go out there and give somebody else a big smile, give them a compliment, and just watch how they glow up. So thank you so much. Bye.